Hi everybody, welcome to North Star Knife Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at a small US made 3-inch lockback from Utica Cutlery. This is the 11-169 CP, also called the Original I by Utica. Now Utica has been around since 1910. They have, in recent years, really moved to a focus on hunting and tactical knives. So they don't make as many of these traditionals as they used to, but they do still make a few of them. And although this is a much smaller knife, it obviously owes a debt to the Buck 110. Just pull my classic 110 just to give you a little comparison. Now, the Utica Original I is quite a bit smaller. You can see the size difference. You have a 5-inch lockback versus a 3-inch lockback, but it does have a lot of similarities in look. The Original I is actually very similar to the Buck 55. Unfortunately, I don't have one of those in my collection at the current time, so I can't give you one to compare it to. But if you're familiar with it, it is just essentially a 3-inch version of the 110. So it's going to be very similar to this Utica. The handle on this is wooden with brass bolsters. It's got brass pins and brass liners, and it is a small lockback design, just like the 55 or the 110 from Buck. Now, the fit and finish on this is okay. Wish it was just a little better. There's some gapping, and that really doesn't affect the utility, but it is there. It's got a clip point blade, the satin finish, the blade length is just about 2¼ inches. You can see here's the tang stamp, Utica Cutlery Company, USA. Move this, maybe you can see it just a little bit better. Now, I haven't been able to pin down the blade steel on this knife. Utica lists it as high carbon steel, so I'm guessing that it might be a 420HC, such as used on the Buck, but I don't know for sure. Now, my main complaint with this knife, quite honestly, is the blade grind. Whoever did it, I think, was in a bit too much of a hurry. The blade grind is uneven. You can see how those tips, the sides are very, very different. Now again, I'm going to attribute that as just to somebody being in a little bit too much of a hurry. It's not the end of the world. The knife is quite sharp, and this can be remedied, but I would like to see it a little more even out of the box. Now, all in all, this is really not a bad knife. It varies widely in price. I have seen it running up to $45 or $50, which is in the vicinity of the Buck 110 or the Buck 55. I've also seen it down as low as about $25. I actually got this one on a closeout for $13. I think it was the last one this knife store had in stock. So if you look, you can find some bargains on these knives. It just may take you a little time. Again, not a bad knife, has some flaws, but if you are in the market for a small US-made lockback, an alternative to Buck, this is something you might want to take a look at, especially if you want something with a very traditional look. Again, whether you bought this or the Buck 55 really would be sort of preference. They are very similar. Hope you found this look at the Utica knife interesting. Thank you very much. Please subscribe, and I will catch you next time.